9 out of 10 people believe their cat doesn't react to their feelings. That is wrong, and it is so wrong that it actually hurts. Because your cat reacts to you all the time, every single day. You just didn't recognize it as a reaction, but mistook it for something else. You thought it was a coincidence, or just hunger, or maybe sleepiness. But it was none of those. It was the cat's love language number 4. Help without asking, without announcement, without conditions, without expecting anything back. Today I will tell you about it, and you will never see these moments the same way again. Imagine this. You have had a long and really difficult day. Nothing big happened, just one of those heavy evenings where everything is too much. You drop onto the sofa and don't even turn anything on. And after a few minutes she comes, without you doing anything at all. She doesn't jump right on you. That is not so important to her. She simply sits next to you, looks briefly, and then looks away. But she stays, hour after hour, without a word and just being there. This is not imagination and not a coincidence. This is the 4th love language. Cats are absolute masters of observation. That is their greatest talent. They don't just see what you do, they register exactly how you move. Your pace, your posture, the sound and the tone of your voice. When you are sad, your breathing is automatically much slower than usual. Your steps sound heavier, your voice sounds deeper than in its normal state. And your cat perceives all of this with an accuracy that is truly impressive. A study from the University of Portsmouth investigated and showed exactly this. Cats differentiate between happy and sad human facial expressions very accurately. And they adapt their own behavior according to exactly what they see. In concrete terms, this means, when you seem sad, she switches to a different mode. Less playing, less activity, but significantly more closeness to you. She lowers her own energy level to match your exact current level. That is no coincidence and no tiredness. That is active and true empathy. Not human empathy, but genuine empathy in her very own unique way. And that makes a very important and truly big difference. Because we often think empathy is when someone asks how you are doing. When someone finds the right words and says exactly the right things. But the most honest empathy is sometimes completely silent and wordless. She sits next to you, breathes calmly, sometimes just looks over at you. And you know in that moment, you are not alone today. This is love language number 4 in its purest and most beautiful form. Now I want to tell you about a moment that has never let me go. A woman I know had a really difficult and painful year. Many losses in a row, very little sleep, a lot of tears during this time. She told me, on the evening when she really couldn't take it anymore. Her cat came, without an invitation, without a call, and without any signal. Lay down on her chest and began to purr calmly and deeply. Not just for a few minutes, she stayed there the entire night. For hours, until it got light, until a brand new day had begun. She told me afterwards, I don't know if cats feel what we feel. But I know that she was there, exactly then and exactly like that. That is enough. That was enough. That was completely sufficient back then. I am saying this carefully now, because it is not something to take for granted. This kind of presence is something no human can give you always and any time. No friend who is tired themselves and fighting their own daily battles. No partner who is currently going through their own difficult time. But she is simply there, without explanation, without demands, always. Without knowing what you need, and still giving exactly that. Why do cats even do this? What truly drives them to do it? Not duty. It is absolutely certainly not a social sense of duty. Cats follow no social contract, no rule tells them, "You must stay." They come from an inner drive that we don't fully understand yet. Perhaps it is the long-shared evolutionary history of humans and cats. Perhaps it is their fine and highly sensitive feel for energy and mood. Perhaps it is simply what love does when it doesn't need a language. She acts instead of talking. She stays instead of leaving. She is just there. Do you remember what I said right at the very beginning? 9 out of 10 people believe their cat doesn't react to their feelings. But now you know better. Now you know the real truth behind it. She reacts every single day in her silent and steady way. She has no words for it, but she has her actions instead. Sitting next to you, staying right there, calmly looking over at you. This is her way of saying, "I see you, I am not walking away." And tonight, when you are all alone and she comes to you, let her come. Don't push her away because you think you need space. Make no plan for this moment. Just let whatever comes happen. Just sit there with her, without distraction, without your phone, without other plans. Because sometimes what you truly need is not advice and not a conversation. Sometimes it's just someone who stays, without ever asking if they should. I sometimes wonder, when was the last moment she simply stayed? When did she come to you uninvited and was there exactly at that moment? Write to me about it, in 1 sentence or in 10, just as you like. I read every single comment down there, truly every single one of them. Because these moments truly deserve to be remembered and captured today. They are the language that never needs any translation and no explanation. Your cat loves you in a way that will never ever need words. And that is perhaps the deepest kind of love that truly exists.